relationships. We suffer pains, we suffer disappointment because we most times we don't define what exactly we want before we go into relationships, and that is why you see we most times leave or partners or friends or people we get into relationships with or people we get into businesses with. They leave us and we are left in pains, you know. And most times you see we don't want to, or we no longer want to go into other relationships, or most times you see that we are left in that pain and we leave ourselves to dwell so long in that pain that we are no longer ready to make relationships work. We walk into relationships too early with no expectation, no rules, no regulations, and that is why most times we are left with pains at the end of the day. I don't see how you walk into, you know, I watched a video of I watched a video where a lady, you know, she met with a guy, you know, they met somewhere in one of the social gatherings, and they just got talking, they hooked up, just they became friends, just got talking, and you know, as life will have it, after a while they got to, the lady went out for a party or something. Yes, she was invited for an occasion and she went there. I think it was a graduation, her friend's younger sister's graduation, so she was doing her graduation in one of the schools, and she went there and she happened to meet the same guy on the same in another occasion, but the same guy, and they got talking, and the guy was so all over her and trying to make her the center of the whole thing, make her introduce introduce the lady to his friends, took her around, make sure everybody that came with him or his friends around saw that he wanted the lady and he likes the lady, and he actually wanted everybody to see that he wanted or he was out for the lady, because he was excited seeing this lady again the second time, you know, because it wasn't really planned, but this guy happened to meet the same lady in another occasion again. So the guy was all over her, and at that point, you know, it was time for the lady to go back, and they were ready. She jumped into her friend's car, they were to zoom off. Also, the guy ran after them, and they stopped them and asked them, okay, fine, how can we see, how can we hook up, can we have a talk, can we have some talk? So she stepped down, and she just said, okay, they exchanged phone numbers, and they started talking, and then they booked for an outing. The guy actually asked, okay, can you hang out with me? Can we just hang out? Can we have some talks? Can I get to know you better and all that? So that was done. And after a while, like a week later, the guy asked again, and then they met somewhere. The lady drove her car this time, you know, because she closed from church. It was on a Sunday. She closed from church, so she told the guy, okay, fine, I'm actually going to church. That was the previous day, which was I think Saturday or Friday or something, I don't know. But she told the guy, when I'm done from service, I think it's close to where you want us to meet, so I think it will be like a one-way thing. So from service, I'm going to see you, I'm going to meet you, we have we hook up. You know, he went, and the lady drove her car, and they met, and the guy had actually parked his car somewhere, and you know, I don't know, it's actually a long story, but I'm just trying to cut it short to give someone an idea on how you can actually hook up with someone too, and he becomes your husband, you know. So the guy asked the lady, what do you want? Where do you want us to go to? And the lady just simply said, your choice. You ask for this outing, so you take a decision. That's number one. The ladies these days, we no longer allow the guy to take their position as guys. Most times the ladies, you want to take the position of a guy. It's one of my videos, if you check my YouTube channel, and Moses, you know, if you take the position of a guy, you're telling the guy, okay, I prefer this place, the guy might not have the money, a whole lot of money to pay for what you're going to eat, or for that place, or that might not be his intention. It's better when you allow the guy to tell you, okay, this is where I want, because he's asking for the outing, he's asking you guys, he's asking both of you hang out and get to know yourselves. So it's always better when you allow the guy to decide. Allow him to be the man. Don't be bossy, don't be the boss lady here. Even if you are, don't display your bossy nature, or You know, don't tell him you're a boss lady. Don't decide for him. You know, the first choice was she told the guy, you decide because I'm out here because you asked me to come out, see you, and we have some talks. And secondly, when they got to where the guy wanted, he asked the lady what she wanted, and the lady, like, kind of wisely, she saw what the guy ordered for, and she went for something lower. A lot of us ladies today, if you're asked for an outing, you don't ask for something smaller. Most of us, we go for things bigger than what the guy is asking for. You're not in the guy's pocket. You don't know how much he has. You don't know how much he's worth. You go for bigger things. That discourages the guy. It discourages the man. You know, number one, remember, she asked the guy to take the lead because he asked for the outing. Number two, she asked for what was like, okay, fine, was cheaper, a meal. I think that was a meal because she said her plate of food, because the guy actually said her plate, Cece's plate of food was actually cheaper than his. And she was comfortable. He saw it in her that she was comfortable with what she asked for. She was just okay with what she wanted and what she asked for. Then number three was that the lady was not in haste to get to know the guy. The guy was asking, the guy was out there to know the lady. So she paid rapt attention to know what the guy was asking for, because paying attention helped her to know what the guy actually wanted, and that helped her wisdomically. She was able to answer questions, and in return, when the guy asked or gave her the audience to, like, okay, fine, is there anything you want to know about me? So that gave her the opportunity to ask her questions. These days, I have given you three things. Number one, the lady allowed the guy to be the boss. Number two, she went for a meal cheaper than what the guy went for. Number three was that, you know, like I explained, it was like, the whole thing is, ladies these days, we are not smart enough to, I'm not saying it to anybody. I include ladies because including me, because at some point I misplaced, it was a misplaced priority too, because at some point in life I did exactly what, you know, there was some time I did some of the things I'm talking about. It's not all about the other person. Some of the things I talk on this channel, there are things I have experienced, and I don't want you to experience the same thing. That is why I call our attentions to them. So allow the man to be the boss. Allow the man to decide what he wants, and that gives her, the last one was that her paying rapt attention to what the questions the guy was asking. It gave her the opportunity to be able to ask questions that were well answered. And at that point, you know, this lady was actually not in this guy's mind. He just wanted to hang out because he has had disappointment from ladies. He just wanted to live his life at this point. He never wanted to hook up for marriage, for something, for dating, for a serious relationship. Because from time he said, can we hook up? Can we hang out? Can we get to talk? Can we get to know ourselves? It was getting closer because her character showed that she was ready. And at the end of the day, you know, the guy asked again, I think on another occasion, they met again, and the guy asked her, he said, what exactly is in your mind? What do you really want us to, what do you really want this relationship to look like? You just want us to hang out, or what exactly do you want? And the lady in return said, what do you want? You asked for this relationship. I've been on my own and you asked for it. So you go ahead, tell me what you want. And, you know, the lady said, I'm done playing. A lot of us ladies, we don't know how to say, I'm done playing. We don't know how to say no. We don't know how to say yes when it is necessary. We don't know how to say no when it is necessary. We are just there. We want to play, especially when we are coming out from a disappointment. We want to make the world know or understand that we are strong enough to face it. After all, we are beautiful. After all, we have the money. Things shouldn't be that way, because you keep having relationships that break. You keep having break in relationships. And when you go back to your room, you're going to be crying to yourself. You're going to be shedding tears. You don't need that. Look, when you have a break in relationship, then have a break from people. Step aside.